Hi, my name is Bill Swails. I'm founder and CEO of EarthRoamer. EarthRoamer Xpedition Vehicles are built on commercial duty Ford F-550 cab chassis trucks powered by a V8 turbo diesel engine. They are designed for complete standalone operation without the need for water, power, or sewer hookups. The interiors provide all the comforts of home, including a bedroom, bathroom, living room, and kitchen. Let's take a closer look at the features that make this a true off-road vehicle. One of the most important parts, if not the most important part, of making a vehicle off-road capable is the wheels, tires, and suspension. We go with a Continental MPT 81 26-ply military tire designed to carry heavy loads through very rough terrain, and that's mounted on a military forged aluminum beadlock rim. The wheel is mounted to an adapter, then the adapter is mounted to the axle. To change a tire, you remove one row of the lug nuts, the wheel comes off. It's a split rim. If you need to take the tire off the rim, you can take the one row of bolts that hold the two halves of the rim together, split the rim, and then you've got the tire off the rim. It has an internal bead lock, so if you're running low tire pressures off-road, that keeps the tire on the rim and also prevents the tire from spinning on the wheel. The entire forged suspension is replaced with air springs. So we have single air springs on the front, dual air springs on the rear. That gives us the ability to level the camper both off-road and in camp. Heavy-duty King off-road shocks. And then we also have a heavy-duty sway bar. It's almost twice the diameter of the Ford factory sway bar. What that does is keep the vehicle stable when you're cornering and also in heavy crosswinds. So moving around to the front of the vehicle, first thing you see is a big heavy-duty steel bumper. So that provides protection for the front of the vehicle and also attach points for winching and recovery operations, as well as a place to mount our off-road lights. Lighting wise, we have both HID and LED options, as well as our base package with halogen lighting. So these are HID driving lights. We have fog lights, and then here are LED off-road lights. A big heavy-duty Warn 16,500 pound winch with synthetic cable for recovery operations. And then down in here you'll also see that we have a full set of air horns. So up here you'll see one of our options. It's an optional security lock, and we can put a locking hitch pin through here, and typically you do that if you're putting it into storage or you just want added protection for the vehicle when you're away from it. The locking hitch pin will secure the door shut. If you are in a place where you want to plug in, we have a 30 amp waterproof inlet right here where you can hook a power cord. These are the two fuel fills. From Ford, it comes with a 40-gallon rear fuel tank. We add a 50-gallon front fuel tank for a total of 90-gallon capacity, and that's typically good for pretty close to 1,000 miles. The two tanks are treated as one tank, so you fill them both up. All the fuel for the appliances in the engine are drawn from the rear tank, and as you use fuel from the rear tank, it automatically transfers from the front to the rear, so they both go down simultaneously. The extra fill up here is for the diesel exhaust fluid. That's kind of a new thing introduced in the past couple of years to meet emissions. Almost all diesel vehicles have that now. That tank needs to be refilled every 500 to 7,500 miles. It's about a 5-gallon tank, and that's just for reducing emissions. So the batteries are stored underneath this fiberglass fairing here. It's 4 8D size batteries. Each battery weighs 162 pounds, 255 amp hours. Far more capacity than a traditional motorhome would carry. That's important for us because whenever we're outside, we're using our solar panels to charge this bank of batteries. Whenever the engine's running, we're charging with alternators. If we're both outside and engine running, we have solar power and alternators topping that big bank of batteries off. What that gives us the ability to do is when we are in camp, we can power all the systems for extended periods of time off the battery power. So overnight, when you're listening to your stereo, running your fans, heaters, all that, everything just runs off the battery bank. They're a completely sealed battery, no maintenance required, so there's really no reason to even access them. Typically they'll last about 5 years. Underneath this fiberglass fairing, we have our gray water tank. It's a 26-gallon tank, and that's where your sink and your shower water drains into. We have a remote operated valve from the inside that you can use to drain that. If you're in camp, you can hook a hose up to it and drain that away from camp. Now that's just sink and shower water. If you're using biodegradable soaps, that can really be drained just about anywhere. One of the things that we do very differently than American RV manufacturers is the way we do our black water system. Most traditional RVs have a big black water tank that the only way that you can empty it is at an RV park with a dump station. So if you go out into remote areas, you know, head out of the country and there aren't RV dump stations, there's no way to really empty it. We do a European system, real common with European campers. It's a cassette toilet. So all the black water waste goes into this cassette. It's about a 5-gallon cassette. When you need to empty it, you take it out. It has wheels on it, handle that extends. You can take this into any pit toilet, any bathroom. If you're in real remote areas, you can even dig a hole and just bury your waste. And the waste just pours out into the toilet or into the hole that you've dug. Treatment chemicals can be stored underneath. You add those to the cassette, plug it back in, and no problem. So on the back of the camper, we actually have quite a lot going on. Obviously we have our spare tire here. That has an electric winch that you can use to drop that down. The receiver hitch you see on that, you can add an extra storage box or a bicycle rack. A number of different items can be mounted to that receiver. It's designed to carry a load. This is our optional storage rack on the back. This can either be equipped as just empty boxes for additional storage, or we can install things like barbecue grills, cook stoves, things like that, sinks, smokers, you name it. These boxes will swing out to give you access to the back of the camper. We have 2 storage boxes. This is standard in all of the rigs. We have a lower locker, great place for tools, skis, extra spare parts, you name it. When you open the upper one, the steps, electric steps automatically come out. Have another worn 16,500 pound winch in the rear with synthetic cable. Got your backup lights, LED brake lights, turn signals, and tail lights. We also mount a set of lights up high, and that's useful if you're in a lineup of traffic and you hit your brakes. The people in the back can see that you're braking long before the other people have even started braking. Or if you're pulling a trailer, you know, trailers are notorious for the lights not working on them. You've got these lights that people can see even if you're pulling a boat or a trailer. Down below here, this has an upgraded receiver hitch. Our standard is rated for 10,000 pounds. This one's rated for 12,500 pounds. We have an air chuck back here. We have a water inlet, so if you are someplace where you have a pressurized water source, you can hook that directly up to the camper. And then we have a standard 7-pin trailer plug. This has an optional heavy-duty 12-volt outlet that's great for jumper cables. You have ATVs or motorcycles and you need power to get those things started. You can plug a big heavy jumper cable into there and get that going. All of the locks back here, the latches, are keyed to the Ford key fob. So when you lock the truck with your key fob, these storage boxes as well as the upper and lower lockers all lock up automatically. Up high here, we have an outside LED light. That's for area lighting. There's a small backup camera right below that. So anytime you're in reverse, that camera comes on, it displays on the screen on the dash. Or you can flip a switch and have that on all the time and use that as a rear view mirror. So the passenger side of the camper is really your camp side. So normally when you set up camp, you're going to be on this side of the camper. We have obviously our entry door right here. Behind this door is a hot and cold shower. So if you need to hose the dog off or hose your feet off when you're at the beach, you've got a hot and cold shower right there. Up here's an area LED light, and that's on a dimmer, so we can adjust the brightness of that for our camp. We have a 16-foot awning. When you open the door, the electric steps automatically extend. And they will retract. We also have another mode we call camp mode, where you can flip a switch on the inside. With that mode, the steps will come out when you open the door. They'll stay out until both the door is closed and you start the engine. So that's handy when you're in camp. You don't want the steps coming in and out all the time. Underneath this fairing right here, we have a 90-gallon water tank that extends up into the camper. That water gets its heat from inside the camper to keep it from freezing at temperatures down to around 0. Below 0, we have an optional package that recirculates the water, adds heat to it with electric heat elements, and then you can go down even in the -20s, no problem. Behind this door is your water fill, so that's how you fill your water tank. Over here, you'll see our external TV that slides out. So this is the switch that extends the TV. The TV just pulls out, flip it, push it back in, and we're all set up. The front of the cab has electric retracting step bars. The nice thing about that is you can maintain your ground clearance when you're off-road, but the steps come out and make it very easy to get back into the truck. This particular EarthRoamer has our Line X protection package, so the lower doors on the cab as well as the fiberglass fairings are all sprayed with Line X. That protects it from rock damage, scrapes and scratches when you're off-road. The Ford cab chassis truck comes from Ford with a leaf spring suspension in the rear. We completely remove the Ford leaf spring suspension and do a 4-link trailing arm with dual airbags for the springs. Once again, the King off-road shocks and a heavy sway bar in the rear. The beauty of this system, it gives us the ability to raise and lower the truck. If you need more ground clearance or you're doing a stream crossing, you can raise the truck up. This is the truck at its highest level. If you need to drop it down to get under something, you know, a low branch or rock outcropping, you can drop it all the way down to a lower level. One of the other real nice features is when you're in camp, you can actually individually level each corner or raise and lower each corner to level the truck when you're in camp. There is a position sensor on each corner, so if you load the truck up heavy, you're filling it full of fuel and water and maybe a trailer with a lot of tongue weight, it will automatically level up that axle. It'll add air to the springs, raise it up, and keep the truck level. So what is an EarthRoamer Xpedition vehicle? We like to think of EarthRoamer Xpedition Vehicles as freedom. It's the freedom to travel any season of the year in any weather condition, to travel any road conditions, including off-road to remote locations, and to be very comfortable once you get there. You don't have to plan every detail. You don't have to make plans to hook up at a campground for water and sewer. You don't have to make hotel reservations. You just go at your own pace and explore on your terms. With an EarthRoamer, you truly can live your dream.